Hey everybody, it's Steve and welcome to the Blockchain Homestead. I've been sick a couple of days, so thank you for sticking with me here. On the mend, I'm feeling great. Figured I'd give you guys a little video to chat about the number one question that I get about Bitcoin and some other Bitcoin 101 type things, as well as a little bit of background about myself. So the number one question I get about Bitcoin, besides is it a bubble, which it's not, or is it, it's gone too high, it's too late to invest. It's totally not. The number one question I get is, well, I don't have $13,000 or $15,000 to invest, so I can't buy a Bitcoin. Well, you don't have to buy a Bitcoin. And this is I think the number one question I get. A Bitcoin is divisible into 8 decimal places, right? The individual Satoshi, the 8th decimal place, is the base unit. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You could buy $50, you can buy $100, you can buy $1,000, you can buy $100,000. It doesn't matter what you buy. In my opinion, all that matters is that you, like me, again, it's not investment advice. Whenever I have extra money, I buy some. That's what I do. And whether it's $75 because I didn't go out to dinner, or if it's $150 because I didn't go out to 2 dinners. At the Bull and Beggar, my favorite place. But basically, anytime you have extra cash, throw it into some Bitcoin, throw it into some Litecoin. That's what I do. And you don't need to buy a whole thing at the same time. So that's Bitcoin 101. The easiest place to buy it is Coinbase.com or Gemini.com, Changely. All 3 of those are very easy to buy. Coinbase is the only exchange, I think, that has not been hacked. That's at this point, the gold standard as to where you can buy easily. So if you're in the U.S., speaking to a U.S. audience for that specifically, Coinbase would be the easiest way to purchase. So that's Bitcoin 101. And it's a cryptocurrency, yada, yada, yada. Look at the other videos. I go into what all that means. So now a little bit about myself. Well, so I don't know if you've noticed this. It's been a little sly thing in the background, but I always change up the vinyl that's hanging out in the background. The vinyl is a habit I picked up from my old roommate, Severian. So thank you, Severian. I appreciate it. I love it. And so it's whatever vinyl's on my mind, or perhaps a song reference if you look back and think about it. So today's a little video about myself. So I got the boss in the background. I'm a Jersey boy, born and raised in East Rutherford, New Jersey, raised in the Jersey Shore. My parents and their friends had this shore house in Bradley Beach right on the lake there, on Lake Terrace. And my dad and his friends used to go see Bruce Springsteen when he was singing at open mic nights, and the beginnings of the E Street Band and Southside Johnny and that whole collective that really formed the Stone Pony back in the 70s and the 80s. And my mother and father, that's their favorite. That was their favorite act for sure. So Bruce Springsteen is a family favorite. And so Bruce, if you need any help with cryptocurrencies, you give me a call. I'd love to help you out. I'm a big fan. Anyway, actually, so funny story. Like my first cassette tape I ever had was a Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, and I wore it out in the back of my dad's car to the point where the magnetic tape didn't work, just singing along. So. Yeah, good times. Anywho, so what else about me? I Eagle Scout, was into Boy Scouts, worked at Boy Scout camp. So all my best friends come from that era, from those people. Went to college, Rutgers, New Jersey, and University of Miami. My degrees are in molecular biology and biochemistry. That's what I do here in Asheville. I work as a chemist. But I got into cryptocurrencies through my my self-education in finance and investing that I gained while I was living in Miami. I was in Miami for grad school. I was looking at ways of investing, and everybody was telling me that real estate was the best investment to make. And I looked into it, and I determined that real estate was the bubble. And then through understanding why real estate was the bubble in 2006, I started understanding through a contrarian sort of financial education, looking into the Mises Institute, Mises.org, or financialsense.com, and the writings of Jim Poplova, and the writings of Antal Faket, Dr. Antal Faket. Murray Rothbard. Learning about the true underpinnings of the economic system, I came to the conclusion that the dollar itself was the biggest bubble in history, and I needed to get out of, or diversify out of the dollar in any way I could. So buying a farm in Asheville, North Carolina made a lot of sense to me. And silver and gold made a lot of sense to me back in those days. And I made a lot of money in that. Not in the farm, because I'm never selling this farm, but in gold and silver I made a lot of money. And that's then gave me the strength of my convictions that I really did have an understanding of basic investing and looking at the monetary system in a way that most people don't, in a contrarian sort of viewpoint. That's when I found, through Max Kaiser and through Cliff High, I found Bitcoin. And that is completely redefined, and that was in 2013. So a little fun fact, in March of 2013, I bought my first Bitcoin. So in a couple of months, it's going to be my 5-year anniversary, which is very exciting. My first Bitcoin I bought for $65 cash at a cafe in Asheville at the Earth Fair, because at that time there weren't exchanges. You had to, I found, or maybe there wasn't exchange, maybe Bitstamp existed at that point, I don't know. But it wasn't something easily investable for people in the US dollar. In Asia and in Europe, you could transfer currency into Bitcoin, but in the US, because of the banking laws, it did not. It was not consumer friendly in order to get invested in the market. So I went on a chat room and found somebody in Asheville that he's like, "Oh, I mine Bitcoin," and so we agreed to meet, and I downloaded the blockchain.info app to my iPhone, and we did the transaction while sitting drinking a cup of coffee. And I gave him $65 cash, and he scanned my QR code and sent a Bitcoin to my public wallet. And that's how this adventure started almost 5 years ago. And since then, I've branched out, gotten onto exchanges, and I'm trading altcoins, like I mentioned, and that's how it all started. It's not too late. It's a great revolution. We're still in the innovator phase, as I keep harping on, and I keep harping on it because a lot of people get nervous and scared that they've missed the boat, that fear of missing out, FOMO, or FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is being spread by the media. Don't believe any of that. It's time to get involved, join the revolution, and also, I'm very excited. I am taking a leap of faith. I rented out a room at a brewery this Sunday, January 14th, at the Wedge Brewing Company, the Wedge Foundation, from 2 to 4, and I'm giving a talk called Bitcoin, Blockchain, and Beers. So a couple of my favorite things. Come on down to the Wedge, enjoy some Iron Rail IPA, and learn some about the Bitcoin revolution. If you know anybody that's living in Asheville, if you don't live here, if you know somebody that lives in Asheville, tell them about it. It's going to be great. It's $30 for the 2-hour talk. You get a beer, you get a pint glass if you're one of the first 20 people to register, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. So I've got to go make the rest of that talk for that afternoon, and thanks for watching. See you guys soon.